Hi, Ella. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My name is Ella, and I've been living in Bali for 7 years. And I recently became a first time mum to a beautiful boy, and he's now 2.5 months old. My son was going through a little bit of a fussy stage, and I felt like it was his digestion, but I wasn't quite sure. He would get upset in the evenings. It was like going through that process of not having navigated this because everything is so new and just really feeling a little bit helpless of like how I can essentially stop him from crying, which I've now learnt is like crying is there's nothing wrong with that. But at that time, it's, oh my God, is my milk harming my son? Am I doing something wrong? And just blindly navigating it.
Yeah, I hear that so often from moms, and I also hear it from practitioners. Maybe they're reacting to your milk, or maybe they're reacting to what you're eating. Whilst there could be times where they are reacting to some foods that you're eating, a lot of the times the issues that we are believing are related to digestion are not at all.
I was lacking confidence and a little bit unsure and overwhelmed. I feel like the modality, and I also watched your masterclass. I think I was maybe 6 or 7 months pregnant. I followed you for a while. It resonated with the line of work that I do, with holistic way of living, with, I guess, more awareness. We're not here to suppress, we're here to heal and be present with everything. So it really spoke to me. And I always had in the back of my mind, oh, this could be something interesting to look into.
I love those seeds planted. And what happened during the time that we worked together, that you had the session and the follow ups? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it was beautiful because I went in wanting practical tips and like telling me what to do, a whole somatic process, which gave me some profound breakthroughs around my own childhood and issues with my mother. It allowed me to look into these themes and work towards healing my mother wound. It was beautiful because I was able to notice that I was taking things personally or making it about me when it wasn't about me and it was about my son. And it allowed me to shift that focus.
So beautiful and so important, because often we feel that we're doing something wrong, or it is about us, and it's really not.
In the afternoon, after he had fed, he would get discomfort, start crying, and I would try different things to control the situation. I would be taking it personally, and it would be like, I don't know what's wrong, and what I'm doing isn't working. I would start to get angry and frustrated, and then I was feeling guilty because he's not doing anything wrong. He's just trying to communicate with me in the best possible way. I just don't know how to understand his language, or I'm not, aware of these subtle signs that he's telling me what's going on.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you. I do recall those times I went through that as well, to be helpless and not know what to do and not know what we're doing wrong.
I think the big shift was around this awareness that it's about him and I just need to listen and actually slow down and become really aware of what's going on in his world without making it about me and being able to hold space for him rather than trying to do this technique. It can become a distraction, right? And he just needs to release whatever's moving through his body. It gave me the confidence and the awareness to hold space for him.
And if someone's never heard of aware parenting before and they don't understand what you mean by holding space, what do you mean by that? And what did you learn about babies through aware parenting and what we did?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So I learned that yes, there are physical needs that the baby has. So have they had a nap? Have they had attention and quality time? Have they been fed? Have they been changed? Are all their basic needs met? And if they're still upset, then it's probably not something physical that you can essentially fix by feeding them, by changing them. So once I went through that checklist, which you helped me to get, that was really helpful. Everything's good, yet he's still upset. So then it's more allowing them to go through their process, but not putting them aside, actually holding them and being there for them and talking to them as if they were an adult, if they were your best friend and you're listening to them go through a breakup or a traumatic event. So it really was about listening. Holding space for me is listening and giving your full, undivided attention and presence.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's such a profound change of view in a way we view babies, because when they cry, we can feel this sense of helplessness or this sense of, I got to do something about it. That something is usually a distraction, which might be feeding, using a pacifier, bouncing on the ball, or carrying them. Basically, whatever we can do to stop the crying, but that can create more accumulated feelings that babies are trying to release. It's important for us to learn that we're not necessarily doing something wrong when they are crying. For them, it's an inbuilt healing mechanism.
It also changed the way that I would speak to him rather than being like, oh, shush, 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 shush. It's like, it's okay. I'm here for you. You're going to be fine. I'm listening. Mama's here. I love you. And just holding space in that way.
So beautiful. Ah, what a gift.
This session gave me the confidence to sit with my child in discomfort. It's almost like he felt that and he was like, okay, we can test this straight away. And I was like, what? This is too soon. It really was a process of building the capacity because it's intense to just sit with your child and they're crying and you don't go through all of these mechanisms to stop them crying. It took time to carve out the space, and I was able to increase that slowly over a week or so. That allowed me to get the confidence, sit with him in discomfort for longer periods of time. I felt proud that I went through a few cycles. So they go through that cycle where it reaches this peak and they're really screaming and then they stop and then they start again. I was able to do a couple of those. Maybe it lasted 20 minutes or something. I feel really grateful that I had a very gentle birth and, hopefully my child doesn't have so much trauma to release, but there's always going to be trauma that they will incur throughout their days. It's not once they have their release that they're fixed and it's not going to happen again. Of course, this is a method and a process that you'll carry on for a number of years.
Yes, anytime they're reaching a new developmental stage and but they see the object in front of them and they want to reach it, but they can't yet. Developmental stages will lead to frustration because they don't yet know how to do the thing they want to do. It's such a valuable tool to have for us as parents to just know that there is nothing wrong with that and they're going to have their process. They're going to have a cry about it. And we can just be there to support them and reassure them that their emotions are valid, their frustration is valid, and we are here to hold space for that and listen.
I feel like I now have the toolkit to hold space for my baby going through these developmental stages and the frustrations that arise with that and process them together in a healthy way.
Mm.
I would notice a big difference after he would have a release. He would come back with this new awareness and he would seem like he was more aware of things. It's almost like he grew up from having that release. So, yeah, he would be much calmer afterwards. So, there'd be the intensity, but then the calmness that follows, which was an evidential sign that whatever he was doing was helping and was beneficial. The biggest tangible result from him being able to process and cry, I think it would be that he feels safer, that it's safe for him to express himself, that we're going to be there. We're not going to leave him. We're not going to be like, it's too much. I feel, yeah, confident and empowered that I am supporting my son in a really healthy way to be able to express all of his emotions, which is what we can ask for, really, to have these tools and modalities to allow our children to grow up in a way that's not repeating patterns that maybe we had from our childhood.
Yes, absolutely. And this, I truly believe this is one of, if not the biggest gift that we can give to our children. It will save them countless hours of therapy in time and money and in every possible way that they don't have to work through all the issues that we had to.
I felt really supported and nurtured, and I was able to express those moments when I was a little bit unsure and I'm needing some assistance. I could just send you a voice note and get that feedback that it was normal, that it was part of the process, and that doing it in a good way. So it felt really nurturing and supported throughout.
What would you say to someone who is watching or listening to this and they have never considered getting support with parenting because they think, oh, it should just be natural. They should just know what to do?
I would say it takes a village. Like, it's about a community raising a child, and having that support has been one of the most impactful things in my experience and in my journey as being a mother. And just that confirmation that we all go through challenges and struggles on the motherhood journey, but we're not alone. I think all mothers need to have awareness of this because it's really important. It's a fundamental skill that we're not taught or we're not aware of. It goes beyond the practicalities of what we should do when our baby is upset and touches on a more holistic approach. It deals with the emotional side, which is going to be so important as they go through those future developmental stages so that they can do it with more grace and ease.